Hello future citizens, or those who after watching this video decides to pass on it, even if only for now. My name is Black and welcome to my house and my channel. I offer up super quick guides to help you get acquainted with some of the basic features of the game, as well as offering up some quick ship loadouts you can use on your early ships in the verse to get up and started with bounties and mining. So if you end up playing Star Citizen based on this video, please subscribe and also use my little referral code that is flashing on the screen. It helps me achieve unlockables in the game and nets you some minor startup monies. So let's get to the point, shall we? You might be someone who has heard about Star Citizen or followed it here and there, and with each new patch you might hear some hype for the game, but at the same time you might be hearing people yelling that it's a scam or all they're doing is selling ships and will never release a fully complete game. So as for the scam part, I highly disagree, and I've got other videos discussing this. As for the selling ships part, I do agree that CIG sells a lot of ships and the vast majority of their funding comes from ship sales, but it does not mean that you have to buy anything better than the starter packages that start at $45 to have fun and even begin your journey of earning most of those real dollar sold ships in-game. To me, a scam would be that you had to spend only real money to be able to fly the majority of ships, or that they sold items monthly that you could not actually play because there was no game to play. Now, while Star Citizen is far from finished, you are able to log in every single day and play, and a vast majority of ships are no longer concept only and can be flown in-game. Also, if you were to purchase a ship that is not in-game yet, they actually loan you one or two ships to try and help fill that role until it releases. Case in point, I recently purchased the newly announced refinery ship, the Misk Expanse, and was loaned the Prospector mining ship and a little light freighter Reliant Core to use until the Expanse makes its live debut. So when I say you can log in and play, what does that really entail? Is Star Citizen just a glorified flight simulator, or can you actually do some meaty gameplay loops and while away the hours playing this game? First off, let's define what gameplay loops there are that you as a new player can participate in. I'm not going to go into great detail here explaining everything, but let's just start with missions. There are cargo missions where you are tasked with flying to specific locations, usually 3 or so, and you fly to those in a ship that can carry small boxes. You arrive at said locations, pick up boxes, and deliver them, and once delivered, you earn in-game money. Nothing new or stellar here in terms of exciting gameplay, but the option is there. Another type of mission that is on the easier side are investigation missions where you are tasked with seeking out someone who was last seen in a cave or on a ship that is feared to have wrecked, etc. The cave missions in particular can be tricky, and I have sometimes given up my search because the caves are pretty winding and maze-like, but I have on occasion found that someone who I was tasked to find. So next up, there are first-person shooter missions where you're tasked with going into a bunker or wrecked ship or cave to find and take out targets, whether specific outlaws or just to clear an area. There are also bounty quests where you're tasked with either using a combat-ready ship to take out bounties in the atmosphere of planets or out in an asteroid belt. You might also be tasked with going planet-side to take down a bounty within a cave or building, similar to what I discussed before. These are great missions to take, and the reputation that goes along with these make them a lucrative way to earn money. But besides missions, there are some other gameplay loops that, while not 100% completed in terms of all features being present, are enough of the features there to actually take part in and enjoy them. Mining is one that comes to mind, but mining is pretty much an entire loop. You can go out on a planet with a wheeled collector, or you can fly with two variations of mining ships, one being a solo ship and the other a 3 to 4 person ship, and you can mine asteroids out in space or larger rocks on planet surfaces that are too big for the wheeled miner. Upon collecting your ore, you can then go refine some of it to sell, then you would haul it off to a marketplace. The only thing missing from this loop is the ability to refine items yourself, but like I mentioned earlier in this video, that ship is coming and will add more options to an already very interesting and lucrative gameplay loop. So besides mining, you can be a space trucker who goes around to outposts and buys needed resources only to haul them to someplace else to sell. This is a very worthy gameplay loop with a few different ships that vary in size and weapon complement, and with some of the newer changes to the economy that have already started to be added into the verse piece at a time, it will only get more interesting. Medical gameplay is an early gameplay loop that is still missing some much needed features, but still, you can be a paramedic waiting for players to signal they are down, or hire yourself out to an organization that needs a dedicated medic for a day of fun-filled bunker FPS questing. New to this current update 3.17 is the ability for ship-to-ship refueling. If you own one of the refueling ships, you can fill it up with fuel and then head out to your fellow spacefarers who are stranded on the road because they thought they could make it just a little bit further. This feature is not a super grand one at the moment because the system we're currently limited to has refueling pretty much everywhere, but with the addition of the next system Pyro incoming within the next year, and the fact that Pyro has maybe one refueling spot across this vast system, refueling will be a must and very lucrative venture for anyone with these refueling ships. Another new addition to 3.17, and probably the biggest, is the ability to sell loot that we collect around the verse. As you do FPS missions or pirate others and steal their belongings, you now have the option to sell these items to vendors for some great credits. This completes the FPS gameplay loop and really adds to the overall gameplay of Star Citizen, especially when you consider that you have a chance to not only get rare quality weapons, but also past subscriber flare cosmetic items that players paid real money for at one time. So if all of this were not enough things to do, there's also just exploring, or joining up with other players in orgs, or just temporary groups to meet up, do races, or go break a buddy out of prison. There are quite a few streamers you can watch to get a taste of what the gameplay loops are like who have thousands of hours of game time. Now, I cannot end this video without telling you that this game is not without bugs. This is an actively developed alpha, and with each update you will see things broken. CIG tries not to release a patch unless all of the game-breaking bugs are squashed, but their idea of game-breaking is usually something that causes the game to actually crash and not be playable, and not just a feature that is not currently working correctly. If constant bugs that may or may not be fixed from patch to patch will infuriate you, and you simply don't want to live the guinea pig lifestyle, that's understandable. I just wanted to warn you that there are times daily when you will encounter something that might kill you, destroy your ship, cause you to lose cargo and thus money, or just cause something completely wonky and unexpected. The good news about this though is that it's happening to all of us, and we're an excellent community for helping others to get through some of the bugs that you can learn to avoid or to come and bail you out if you're stuck. I hope you'll join our little community, but understand if there's not enough for you yet, or you want more stability first. There are ways you can check out the game without spending a dime, such as by watching other streamers or with the free fly events that happen throughout the year, most notably at the end of May and in October, but there are others that pop up throughout the year as well. These are good times to see if your computer can handle the game because it's a beast to run, and please listen to the recommended specs that players will tell you to have on Reddit, and not just the minimum specs on the official site. But when you are able to play this game, there is a lot of fun to be had for $45, and it's only getting better with each patch. There are some very interesting things happening within the game right now, and with hype being at an all-time high, it's a good time to give it a try. And that's going to do it for my little spiel today. Remember to be kind to each other, take your aggressions out on NPCs, and stay positive, citizens.